The following presentation is best experienced with headphones.
Honored guests, I am happy to see you back so soon. Nan and I were just talking about how we have enjoyed having visitors again so much. You bring life and curiosity here to our dear house. Speaking of curiosity, I wonder what story the Circle will tell today. Greer has been thinking about setting aside the full novels of stories the Flames bring to us. I can't wait to read more of Wind in the Willows. But for now, honored guests, we have arrived.
Welcome back, honored guests.
We are happy your travels brought you back to us.
Has anyone seen Jax? They went to make a delivery to Amity Island a good while ago.
Oh, dear. I do hope everything's all right.
All good here. There was a beach party going on that needed a lot of pizza. I almost dropped one into the water.
Speaking of water, I think I see the fire giving us a tale. I do believe I see the crackle of a story on those flames. The fire burns bright, with stories ever knowing.
Yes, we are visiting the water rat at his riverside again.
From the 1908 novel by Kenneth Grahame.
The Wind in the Willows.
Wrap yourselves up in these blankets and cloaks, honored guests. Remember, it's very cold where we're going.
They waited patiently for what seemed a very long time, stamping in the snow to keep their feet warm.
At last, they heard the sound of slow, shuffling footsteps approaching the door from the inside.
The door opened a few inches, enough to show a long snout and a pair of sleepy, blinking eyes. Mr. Badger!
Now, the very next time this happens, I shall be exceedingly angry. Who is it this time, disturbing people on such a night? Speak up!
Oh, Badger, let us in, please. It's me, Rad, and my friend Mo.
Hello, nice to meet you.
We've lost our way in the snow.
What? Ratty, my dear little man. Come along in, both of you at once. Well, I never. Lost in the snow, and in the wildwood too, and at this time of night.
The two animals tumbled over each other in their eagerness to get inside.
The badger, who wore a long dressing gown, had probably been on his way to bed when their summons sounded.
He looked kindly down on them and patted both their heads.
This is not the sort of night for small animals to be out. Come along. There's a first-rate fire here, and supper and everything.
In the embracing light and warmth,
Warm and dry at last.
with weary legs propped up in front of them, the two friends told their story of the wild wood. Wild wood. And after they had chatted for a time about things in general, the badger said heartily,
Now then, tell us the news from your part of the world. How's old Toad going on?
Oh, from bad to worse.
Another smash-up only last week, and a bad one.
You see, he will insist on driving himself, and he's hopelessly incapable. He's convinced he's a heaven-born driver, and nobody can teach him anything, and all the rest follows.
How many has he had?
Smashes or machines?
Oh, well, after all, it's the same thing with Toad. This is the 7th. As for the others, you know the coach house of his? Well, it's piled up, literally piled up from the roof, with fragments of motor cars.
He's been in the hospital 3 times, and as for the fines he's had to pay, it's simply awful to think of.
Yes, and that's part of the trouble. Toad's rich, we all know, but he's not a millionaire. Badger, we're his friends. Ought we to do something?
The badger went through a bit of hard thinking.
Now look here. Of course you know I can't do anything now.
Oh, yes, yes.
You see, no animal, according to the rules of animal etiquette, is ever expected to do anything strenuous
Or heroic.
or even moderately active during the off-season of winter.
All are sleepy, some actually asleep.
Very well, then. But when once the year has really turned, and the nights are shorter, you know.
They knew.
Well, then, we, that is, you and me and our friend the mole here, will take Toad seriously in hand. We'll stand no nonsense whatever. We'll bring him back to reason, by force if need be. We'll make him be a sensible Toad. Well, you're asleep, Rat.
Not me!
Well, it's time we're all in bed. Come along, you two, and I'll show you your quarters. And take your time tomorrow morning. Breakfast at any hour you please.
In accordance with the kindly badger's injunctions, the two tired animals came down to breakfast very late next morning and found a bright fire burning in the kitchen.
Once the two friends had helped themselves to food, the front doorbell clanged loudly.
Who could that be, Ratty?
I'll go see.
Once the door was opened, Rat was greeted by Otter, who threw herself on the rat with an embrace.
Oh, get off!
Thought I should find you here all right. They were all in a great state of alarm along the riverbank when I arrived this morning.
Is that right?
Rat never been home all night, nor Mole either. Something dreadful must have happened, they said. And the snow had covered up all your tracks, of course.
The two walked into the kitchen.
Hello, Mole.
Hello.
But I knew that when people were in any fix, they mostly went to Badger. Or else Badger got to know of it somehow. So I came straight off here through the wild wood and the snow.
Weren't you all nervous?
Some of yesterday's terror came back to him at the mention of the wild wood. Wild wood.
Nervous? I'd give 'em nerves if any of them tried anything on with me. Here, Mole, find me some slices of ham, like the good little chap you are. I'm frightfully hungry, and I've got any amount to say to Ratty here. I haven't seen him for ages.
So Mole, having cut some slices of ham, set to fry it and returned to his own breakfast.
While the otter and the rat eagerly talked river shop,
which is talk that is endless,
running on like the babbling river itself.
A little while later, Badger greeted them all in his quiet, simple way.
It must be getting on for luncheon time.
Badger, we'd like nothing more.
Presently, they all sat down to luncheon together.
The mole found himself placed next to Mr. Badger, so he took the opportunity to tell Badger how comfortable and homelike it all felt to him.
Once well underground, you know exactly where you are. Nothing can happen to you, and nothing can get at you. You're entirely your own master, and you don't have to consult anybody what they say. Things go on all the same overhead, and you let 'em, and don't bother about 'em. When you want to, up you go, and there the things are, waiting for you.
The Badger simply beamed on him.
That's exactly what I say. There's no security or peace and tranquility except underground. And then, if your ideas get larger and you want to expand, why, a dig and a scrape, and there you are. If you feel your house is a bit too big, you stop up a hole or two, and there you go again. That's my idea of home.
Yes, of course.
The Badger, in consequence, got very friendly with Mole.
But by and by, the rat became very restless.
Rat seemed really to be afraid that the river would run away if he wasn't there to look after it.
Come along, Mole. We must get off while it's daylight. Don't want to spend another night in the wild wood again.
This'll be all right, my fine fellow. I'm coming along with you, and I know every path blindfolded.
You really needn't fret, Ratty. My passages run further than you think, and I've got bolt holes to the edge of the wood in several directions.
So the Badger, taking up his lantern, led the way along a tunnel until they found daylight.
Goodbye, my friends.
I shall stay with you in the thicker parts of the wood. Then you can go on closer to home.
They found a beaten track that made walking a lighter business.
It looks as if we're coming to a village.
Their path had developed into a lane, and now they came upon a well-metalled road.
Oh, never mind. At this season of the year, they're all safe indoors by this time, sitting around the fire, men, women, and children, dogs and cats and all. We shall slip through all right, without any bother or unpleasantness. And we can have a look at them through their window if you like and see what they're doing.
The rapid nightfall of mid-December had quite beset the little village as they approached it on soft feet over a first thin fall of powdery snow.
Most of the low windows were innocent of blinds, and to the lookers in from outside they saw people.
Some gathered around the tea table,
Others absorbed in handiwork,
or talking with laughter and gestures.
Once beyond the village, they reached the friendly fields again, and they braced themselves for the last long stretch.
The home stretch.
Goodbye, friends. It is a safe journey now.
Goodbye.
Suddenly, Mole stopped dead in his tracks, his nose searching hither and thither.
A familiar scent had caught him. A moment, and he had caught it again. And with it, this time, came recollection in fullest flood.
Home! Ratty, hold on! Come back! I want you quick!
Oh, come along, Mole, do.
Please stop, Ratty. You don't understand. It's my home. My old home. I've just come across the smell of it, and it's close by here. Really quite close. And I must go to it. I must! Oh, come back, Ratty. Please come back.
The rat was by this time very far ahead, too far to hear clearly what the mole was calling.
Too far to catch the sharp note of painful appeal in his voice.
Mo, we mustn't stop now, really. We'll come for it tomorrow, whatever it is you found. But I daren't stop now. It's late, and the snow is coming on again. And I'm not sure of the way. Mole, so come on quick. There's a good fellow.
And the rat pressed forward on his way without waiting for an answer.
At last, however, when they had gone some considerable way further and were passing some tree stumps at the edge of a copse that bordered the road, he stopped and said kindly,
Look here, Mole, old chap. You seem dead tired. No talk left in you, and your feet dragging like lead. We'll sit down here for a minute and rest.
The mole subsided forlornly on a tree stump and tried to control himself, for he felt it surely coming.
The sob he had fought with so long refused to be beaten. Up and up. It forced its way to the air, and then another,
and another,
and others thick and fast.
Till poor Mole at last gave up the struggle and cried freely.
What is it, old fellow? Whatever can be the matter? Tell us your trouble and let me see what I can do.
I know it's a shabby, dingy little place, not like your cozy quarters or Toad's beautiful hall, or Badger's great house, but it was my own little home. I was fond of it, and I went away and I forgot all about it, and then I smelled it suddenly on the road. When I called it, you wouldn't listen, Rat, and everything came back to me with a rush. I wanted it. Oh dear, oh dear. And when you wouldn't turn back, Ratty, I had to leave it, though I was smelling it all the time, and I thought my heart would break. We might have just gone and had one look at it, Ratty, only one look. It was close by, but you wouldn't turn back, Ratty, you wouldn't turn back. Oh dear, oh dear.
I see it all now. How thoughtless I have been. Well, now we'd really better get on going, old chap.
Whatever are you going to... Ratty?
We're going to find that home of yours, old fellow. So you had better come along, for it will take some finding, and we shall need your nose.
Oh, come back, Ratty, do. It's no good, I tell you. It's too late and too dark, and the place is too far off, and the snow's coming, and I never meant to let you know I was feeling that way about it. It was all an accident and a mistake. And think of Riverbank and your supper.
Hang Riverbank and supper too. I tell you, I'm going to find this place now if I stay out all night. So cheer up, old chap, and take my arm, we'll be very soon back there again.
Still snuffling, pleading, and reluctant, Mole suffered himself to be dragged back along the road by his imperious companion.
And after retracing their steps, they arrived at Mole's old home.
The mole struck a match, and by its light, the rat saw that they were standing in an open space, and directly facing them was Mole's little front door with Mole End painted over the bell pull at the side.
Mole reached down a lantern from a nail on the wall and lit it, and the rat, looking round him, saw that they were in a sort of forecourt.
Oh, Ratty, why did I do it? Why did I bring you to this poor, cold little place? On a night like this, when you might have been at Riverbank by this time, toasting your toes before a blazing fire, with all of your own nice things about you.
The rat paid no heed to his doleful self-reproaches.
He was running here and there,
opening doors,
inspecting rooms and cupboards,
and lighting lamps and candles and sticking them up everywhere.
What a capital little house this is! So compact, so well planned. Everything here and everything in its place. We'll make a jolly night of it. The first thing we want is a good fire. I'll see to that. I always know where to find things. So this is the parlor. Splendid! Your own idea, those little sleeping bunks in the wall. Capital! Now, I'll fetch the wood and the coals, and you get a duster. You'll find one in the drawer of the kitchen table, and try to smarten things up a bit. Bustle about, old chap!
Encouraged, the mole roused himself, and they soon had a cheerful blaze roaring up in the chimney.
Rat, what about your supper, you poor, cold, hungry, weary animal? I've nothing to give you. Nothing. Not a crumb.
Oh, what a fellow you are for giving in. Why, only now I saw a sardine opener in the kitchen dresser, quite distinctly, and everybody knows that means there are sardines about somewhere in the neighborhood. Rouse yourself, pull yourself together, and come with me and forage.
They went and foraged accordingly, hunting through every cupboard and turning out every drawer.
The result was not so very depressing after all.
A box of Captain's biscuits,
nearly full,
and a German sausage encased in silver paper,
and they sat down to dinner.
No wonder you're so fond of this place, Mole. Tell us about it, and how you came to make it what it is.
Well,
Somewhat shyly at first, but with more freedom as he warmed to his subject, Mole told Ratty about his home.
How this was planned, and how that was thought out, and how this got through a windfall from an ant, and that was a wonderful find and a bargain.
Remarkable, Moley! Simply splendid!
The two friends were just finishing dinner when sounds were heard from the forecourt.
They heard the scuffling of small feet in the gravel and a confused murmur of tiny voices, while broken sentences reached them.
What's up?
I think it must be the field mice. They go round carol singing regularly at this time of year. They're quite an institution in these parts, and they've never passed me over. They come to Mole End last of all.
Let's have a look then,
cried Rat, jumping up and running to the door.
As the door opened, one of the elder mice that carried the lantern was just saying,
"Now then, 1, 2, 3. Villagers all this frosty tide, let your door swing open wide. The wind might fall and snow beside you, draw us in by your fire to bide. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Here we stand in the cold and the sleet, blowing fingers and stamping feet. Come from far away to greet you by the fire and we in the street, bidding you joy in the morning. For ere 1/2 of the night was gone, sudden a star has led us on, raining bliss and benison bliss tomorrow and more anon. Joy for every morning. Goodman Joseph toiled through the snow, saw the star still below, where she might not further go. Welcome, Patch and Little Below. Joy was hers in the morning, and then they heard the angels tell, who was the first to cry Noel. Animals all as it befell, in the stable where they did dwell. Joy shall be theirs in the morning.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Bravo.
The voices ceased. The singers, bashful but smiling, exchanged sidelong glances, and silence succeeded, but for a moment only.
Very well sung, everyone.
Bravo! Bravo!
Thank you ever so much. Happy holidays, Mr. Mo.
After the carolers had gone, the rat, with a tremendous yawn, said,
Mo, old chap, I'm ready to drop. Sleepy is simply not the word. That's your own bunk over there on that side. Very well, then I'll take this. What a ripping little house this is. Everything's so handy.
And the two friends stayed the night at Mole's house.
The following day, the two resumed their journey and found their home by the river banks once again.
One bright summer day, the mole and the water rat had been up since dawn, very busy on matters connected with boats and the opening of the boating season.
And were finishing breakfast in their little parlor and eagerly discussing their plans for the day when a heavy knock sounded at the door.
Bother! See who it is, Mole.
The mole went to attend the summons and returned with friend.
Mr. Badger!
The badger strode into the room and stood looking at the two animals with an expression full of seriousness.
The hour has come.
What hour?
Whose hour, you should rather say? Why, Toad's hour. The hour of Toad. I said I would take him in hand as soon as the winter was well over, and I'm going to take him in hand today.
Toad hour, of course. Hooray! I remember now. We'll teach him to be a sensible toad.
This very morning, as I learnt last night from a trustworthy source, another new and exceptionally powered motor car will arrive at Toad Hall on approval or return. We must be up and doing, ere it is too late. You two animals will accompany me instantly to Toad Hall, and the work of rescue shall be accomplished.
Right you are. We'll rescue that poor, unhappy animal. We'll convert him. He'll be the most converted toad that ever was before we're done with him.
They set off up the road on their mission of mercy, Badger leading the way.
They reached the carriage drive of Toad Hall to find a shiny new motor car
of great size
and painted a bright red standing in front of the house.
As they neared the door, it was flung open, and Mr. Toad, arrayed in goggles,
cap,
gaiters,
and
an enormous overcoat, came swaggering down the steps, drawing on his gauntleted gloves.
Hello, come on, you fellows. You're just in time to come with me for a jolly... jolly?
His hearty accents faltered as he noticed the stern, unbending look on the countenances of his silent friends, and his invitation remained unfinished.
The badger strode up the steps.
Take him inside.
It took much effort, but after the three had wrestled Toad inside,
all the while with Toad protesting greatly, Badger said,
Now then, first off, take those ridiculous things off.
Shan't. What is the meaning of this gross outrage? I demand an instant explanation. What are you doing? Why don't handle me like that?
Take them off of him, then, you two.
They had to lay Toad out on the floor, kicking and calling all sorts of names, before they could get to work properly.
Then the rat sat on him, and the mole got his motor clothes off him bit by bit, and they stood him up on his legs again.
You knew it must come to this sooner or later, Toad. You've disregarded all the warnings we've given you. You've gone on squandering the money your father left you, and you're getting us animals a bad name in the district by your furious driving, and your smashes, and your rows with the police.
And now?
Now you and I are going to talk.
And Badger led Toad into a room at the left and shut the door.
After some 3/4 of an hour, the door opened, and Badger reappeared with Toad behind him.
His cheeks were furrowed by the tears so plentifully called forth by the Badger's moving discourse.
Sit down there, Toad. My friends, I am pleased to inform you that Toad has at last seen the error of his ways. He is truly sorry for his misguided conduct in the past, and he has undertaken to give up motor cars entirely and forever. I have his solemn promise to that effect.
That is very good news.
Very good news indeed.
There's only one thing more to be done. Toad, I want you solemnly to repeat before your friends here what you fully admitted to me in the smoking room just now. First, you are sorry for what you've done, and you see the folly of it all.
There was a long pause.
Toad looked desperately this way and that, while the other animals waited in grave silence.
At last he spoke.
No, I'm not sorry. It wasn't folly at all. It was simply glorious.
What? You backsliding animal! Didn't you tell me just now in there?
Oh, yes, in there. I'd have said anything in there. You're so eloquent, dear Badger, and so moving and so convincing. You put all your points so frightfully well, you can do what you like with me in there, and you know it. But I've been searching my mind since and going over things in it, and I find that I'm not a bit sorry or repentant, really. So, no earthly good saying I am now, is it?
Then you don't promise never to touch a motor car again?
Certainly not. On the contrary, I faithfully promise that the very first motor car I see, poop, off I go in it.
Told you so, didn't I?
Very well, then. Since you won't yield to persuasion, we'll try what force can do. I feared it would come to this all along. You've often asked us three to come and stay with you, Toad, in this handsome house of yours. Well, now we're going to. When we've converted you to a proper point of view, we may quit, but not before. Take him upstairs, you two, and lock him up in his bedroom while we arrange matters between ourselves.
It's for your own good, Toady. You know,
said the rat kindly, as Toad, kicking and struggling, was hauled up the stairs by his two faithful friends.
Think of what fun we shall all have together, just as we used to, when you've quite got over this painful attack of yours.
We'll take great care of everything for you till you're well, Toad, and we'll see your money isn't wasted, as it has been.
No more of those regrettable incidents with the police, Toad.
And no more weeks in hospital, Toad.
The two threw Toad into his bedroom, locking the door as they left.
They descended the stair, Toad shouting abuse at them through the keyhole, and the three friends then met in conference on the situation.
It's going to be a tedious business. I've never seen Toad so determined. However, we will see it out. He must never be left an instant unguarded. We shall have to take it in turns to be with him till the poison has worked itself out of his system.
They arranged watches accordingly. Each animal took it in turns to sleep in Toad's room at night, and they divided the day up between them.
One fine morning, the rat, whose turn it was to go on duty, went upstairs to relieve Badger.
Toad's still in bed. Can't get much out of him, except...
Oh, leave me alone. I want nothing. Perhaps I'll be better presently. It may pass off in time. Don't be unduly anxious.
And so on. Now you look out, Rat. When Toad's quiet and submissive, then he's at his artfulest. There's sure to be something up. I know him. Well now, I must be off.
Ratty went in to see Toad once Badger left.
How are you today, old chap?
As he approached Toad's bedside, he had to wait some minutes for an answer. At last, a feeble voice replied.
Thank you so much, dear Ratty. So good of you to inquire. But first, tell me how you are yourself and the excellent Mole.
Oh, we're all right. Mole is going out for a run with Badger. They'll be out till luncheon time, so you and I will spend a pleasant morning together. And I'll do my best to amuse you. Now, jump up. There's a good fellow, and don't lie moping on a fine morning like this.
Dear, kind rat, How little you realize my condition, how very far I am from jumping up. Now, if ever, I beg you, for the last time probably, to step round to the village as quickly as possible. Even now it may be too late. Fetch the doctor.
Why? What do you want a doctor for?
Tomorrow indeed you may be saying to yourself, "Oh, if only I had noticed sooner. If only I had done something. But no, it's a trouble. Never mind. Forget that I asked."
Look here, old man. Of course, I'll fetch you a doctor. If you really think you want him. But you can hardly be bad enough for that yet. Let's talk about something else.
I fear, dear friend, that talk can do little in a case like this. Nor doctors either, for that matter. Still, one must grasp at the slightest straw. And, by the way, while you are about it, I hate to give you additional trouble, but would you mind at the same time asking the lawyer to step up?
A lawyer? All right, Toad, hold on.
The affrighted rat hurried from the room, not forgetting, however, to lock the door carefully behind him.
The toad, who had hopped lightly out of his bed as soon as he heard the key turned in the lock, watched him eagerly from the window till he disappeared down the carriage drive.
Then he dressed as quickly as possible, filled his pockets with cash, and next, knotting the sheets from his bed together,
He scrambled out the window, slid lightly to the ground, and, taking the opposite direction to the rat, marched off light-heartedly, whistling a merry tune.
Upon the three friends' return, Badger took his loss the hardest.
You've been a bit of a duffer this time, Ratty. Toad, too, of all animals.
He did it awfully well.
He did you awfully well. However, talking won't mend matters. He's got clear away for the time, that's certain. But we'd better continue to sleep at Toad Hall for a while longer. Toad may be brought back at any moment, on a stretcher, or between two policemen.
Meanwhile, Toad, gay and irresponsible, was walking briskly along the high road some miles from home.
Smart piece of work, that.
He remarked to himself, chuckling.
Brain against brute force, and brain came out on top, as it's bound to do. Poor old Ratty. My, won't he catch it when Badger gets back?
Toad sauntered round quietly to an inn yard.
Once there, he saw a beautiful
motor car.
There cannot be any harm in my only just looking at it.
The car stood in the middle of the yard, quite unattended. Toad walked slowly round it,
inspecting,
criticizing,
musing deeply.
I wonder if this sort of car starts easily.
Next moment, he found he had hold of the handle and was turning it.
As if in a dream, he found himself seated in the driver's seat.
As if in a dream, he pulled the lever and swung the car round the yard and down the street. Toad leapt forth on the high road through the open country, and he was only conscious that he was Toad once more.
Toad at his best and highest.
Toad the Terror.
Let me see, Mr. Toad. You have been found guilty, on the clearest evidence, first, of stealing a valuable motor car. Secondly, of driving to the public danger, and thirdly, of gross impertinence to the royal police. Mr. Toad, will you tell us, please, what penalty you'll receive?
None at all.
If added together correctly, it tots up to 19 years. But we had better make it around 20 years and be on the safe side.
Around 20?
Prisoner, pull yourself together and try to stand up straight. It's going to be 20 years for you this time, and mind, if you appear before us again upon any charge whatever, we shall have to deal with you very seriously.
Then the brutal minions of the law fell upon the hapless Toad, loaded him with chains, and dragged him from the courthouse, shrieking and protesting.
The rusty key creaked in the lock of Toad's cell, and the great door clanged behind them.
And Toad was a helpless prisoner in the remotest dungeon
Of the best guarded keep,
of the stoutest castle, in all the length and breadth of merry England.
Careful, careful. Oh, maybe we should bring galoshes next time. I don't think that's going to be coming out of the carpet.
Oh, don't worry, Nan. That carpet has seen much over the years. Too much.
Everything from boots to scales and back again.
Thank you for traveling with us, honored guests. But I think the flames are saying our journey is ended for today.
Yes, I see a crackle of a story on those flames, but for next time.
The fire burns low, with stories ever glowing.
We will see you again soon.
Honored guests, come follow me, for you mustn't stay at our house for too long. I wonder what's going to happen to our friends at the riverside. Ah, but you must go. Stay close behind my guests, and whatever you do, don't answer any voices you may hear on the way out. Oh, but do come back. Hearing the circle stories brings me to life.
You have been listening to The House of Branching Paths, a theatrical podcast experience brought to you by Round 2 Productions, created by Mark Kilmer and Caroline Miller, with featured artists Kimmy Kidd, Bill Blanky, April Sita, Justin Panachia Shimza, Jamie Chandler, George Dewar, Joshua Towers, and Katie Bailey, with music by Elegy. For even more content, join us on our Patreon, or for more stories like these, be sure to visit your local library. Thank you for joining us, honored guests, and remember, the fire may burn low, but the stories are ever glowing.